get that together, shan't we? Jeez Louise. After that long thing, we have the still more to go here, which is fine. That's usually how a lot of these turn games go. With the final case being particularly long. But still though, we are in episode 3, the adventure of the Runaway Room. Well then, I don't know what exactly this is, for sure. Hopefully we're in London this time around. I really hope so. And I hope we're actually in the court case too. But I don't know, Runaway Room seems like we're in a train setting of sorts. I do love trains. Let's do this, baby! Episode 3. Episode 3. The Adventures of the Runaway Room. Does that say London something?
Glancing over my records of the late last century, I am faced by the events of a certain bitter winter. A murder in a carriage as it sped through dense London fog in the dead of night. Though the victim and the perpetrator were the only ones inside, there were multiple witnesses to the crime itself. However, none could have imagined at the time that such a seemingly obvious case as this would end in such a horrendous manner. My friend, Mr. Herlock Sholmes, once said of the incident, "I believe that perhaps that case was indeed the prelude. The beginning of a long concerto that impressive Japanese student and I were to play together."
Well then. Ooh, pretty. Like how it looks.
Amazing. Is this really just a railway station?
Railway station or not, I've never seen such an enormous building before.
And look at all the steam locomotives. This country is incredible.
I love its cape. London King. Ryan's Coco.
I feel like I'm dreaming.
So this is the capital of Great Britain.
So, where to?
Oh, hello.
Climb aboard. I'll take you wherever you want to go.
In that case, the Supreme Court in Whitehall, if you wouldn't mind.
My pleasure. I suppose you're visiting students from abroad, eh?
Yes.
Thought so. Well then, I hope you enjoy your stay. And welcome to the centre of the world, Great Britain's mighty capital, London.
British people. Day equals ruined. February 9:21 a.m. British Supreme Court, Lord Chief Justice's office. What an incredible place. You started streaming at the same time as your friend. I know. I'm sorry. I didn't plan things through. Believe it or not, I'm not a very good planner, Cactar. And then you got on, so like, yeah. I realize this. I don't know what to tell you. Oh, Rar's here. Don't redeem your thing. Just give me your thing. I think it's an issue with bottoms. Yeah, fuck, just call me out, why don't you? Anyway, Rar, you redeemed a thing last time, and you sent it to me, so I'm gonna go grab that right now. because I'm a very good planner, and I totally, like, got it beforehand. Winky face. Just gotta do that. And that way you don't have to redeem it, because you did redeem it, like, pretty much near the end of the stream, like, God. Properties. No, what? Oh, that's why. There it is. Okay, now I need to find it again. Hold it. I do like these little hold it's and whatnot. I don't think they have hold it in this game, actually, believe it or not. It's bottom energy. A bottom would hold it too. Fuck. If that's not the truth. You know what also bottom wouldn't hold? The fact that I totally forgot to change my thing. So it vibrates instead. I usually just have it on vibrate, but I've had to keep it on for on call so I could wake up to see if my girlfriend calls me or whatever, because we have such limited time together so right now. So it's just like tomorrow I could actually just be really good with her and just like, You're a great planner for the end steps, never the start. That's not a good planner, Rar. I don't know what to tell you, but that's not good. Like, the only thing that's good about, like, I can't start something, but I can end something is a fight. So, are you trying to say that you're good at ending a fight? Because I don't think you are. I seen you, Rar. She's an idiot, ignore her, damn. I mean, that's your bimbo. She starts it, but then it doesn't happen for her, and she, oh no, stop being mean. Don't be mean. This is time to look at British people and be mean to British people, not your other peoples. What an incredible place. It's so imposing. It's almost suffocating. This place is breathtaking. It looks like a fortress. There are some stone buildings like this in Japan now, of course, but they've only been built in a few short decades since we opened our borders to the outside world. Roar! Is that roaring in British? Roar. I do declare a roar. No, that's more southern. An authentic example like this has quite a different impact. Wouldn't you agree? Oh, dang. That's pretty cool, though, that you're out. I mean, not in the sense that, like, they outed you, but in the sense that, like, so far nothing bad has happened, so that's a good. Yeah. A far cry from the wood and paper most of the buildings are constructed from. It's certainly unfamiliar. Rar asked to be outed? Fucking bottom. But I think there's more to the differences than just construction material. I love all the gears. I don't know what it is about gears turning, but that just gets my gears turning. What is this place again? This is the Lord Chief Justice's office, Naruhodo-san, in the Supreme Court of Great Britain. Oh my god, what a dorcas. Good for her, honestly. If you're interested in her and asking when the coming out party is. Oh my god, people just want a party! Let's be real. Fuck, anytime you can get a cake, just cake time, baby. Just make sure no explosions. The Lord Chief Justice. We had instructions to report here at this time if circumstances were different. We were supposed to let the Lord Chief Justice know that we had arrived from Japan. But Kazuma can't. No. So instead we are here in a different capacity. As envoys to report the news of Kazuma-sama's death. Yes. And having delivered his or her message, an envoy's duty is done. So we'd have to return to Japan? We want to remain here in Great Britain. I have to take Cosmo's place as the law student selected for the for the study tour. So, one person still wants me to teach full-time before and after coming out. Yeah, honestly, do it. If that's just like a year for you or something like that, I think that's what it is supposed to be. That'd be cool for you to do, Rar. Over double the income. Double income! Yeah, honestly, if it's only for a year, you might as well do it. It's an experience that you could be like, I definitely want to do this, or I don't ever want to do this again. I definitely feel like if I had a year that I could teach, then I would do it. Because I think I am a good teacher, but mentally speaking, I don't think I can handle more than one class. Like, I'd be too invested by things, and I get too overwhelmed by certain things. I just couldn't do it that much. I would have to know the people. I'd probably be better off as a tutor, and even then, like, the things that I could toot, you know what I'm saying, is not a lot. Yes, which means you need the requested qualifications as a lawyer. Which is what I've been studying for. Here in Great Britain, it is the Lord Chief Justice who appoints lawyers. So that's the second reason why we're here. To have you officially recognized as a lawyer. It's the only way that we'll be able to remain here in London. I hope I'm up to scratch. Oh, who is this? That dude's evil. That dude's evil. He committed a crime. You know he did. He's evil! I trust you aren't too exhausted from your long voyage from Japan. It seems I'm 1 hour, 12 minutes, and 47 seconds late. My apologies. Oh, no. Don't mention it. We're never happier that when we're standing around with nothing much to do. I can't just say people look evil? That's just resting evil face? No, I'm gonna say it. How fortunate. So, introductions. I am Male Strongheart, Lord Chief Justice of the British Empire. I feel like a mouse on her elephant's foot. Come on, Mr. Naruto. Don't be a mouse. Oh, it's an honor to meet you, Lord Chief Justice, Strongheart. I'm, Renosuke, Naruto, from the Empire of Japan. Well, Mr. Naruto. Welcome to London, the capital of our glorious British Empire. Yes, thank you. Okay. So, we could present, yes. Present armband. Lord Strongheart, may I show you this? To accept this item, issue a receipt, examine it thoroughly, and make a formal statement of my findings. Would require something in the region of 24 seconds of my time. Sorry? Does the item warrant 24 seconds of my time, Mr. Naruto? Let's leave it for now. This dude's all about the time equal money bit. Oh wait, can we examine? We could examine. Cool. Look at these menacing metal giants facing each other across the room. I believe they're suits of armor. Oh, right. Thought maybe they were like the lion dogs we have in Japan guarding shrine gates. No, not at all. In fact, in Europe, suits of armor like these are always possessed by evil spirits, you know. And they roam around in the middle of the night. Really? Is there nothing you don't know, Susato? This book tells me everything I need to know about everything. If you're ever unsure, just ask. Where did she get that incredible tome? I don't know, but that's fascinating. Just look at all these naughty books packed together on these shelves. They go from floor to ceiling. And they're all books that you can't hope to come by in Japan. It's just like a dream. Yes, a very bad dream. They're not all about British law either. There are books about the judicial system of other Western nations. France, Germany, Spain, Poland. What about Russia? Why do you ask? I was wondering about asking Lord Chief Justice how you say wardrobe in Russian. What do you think? I think perhaps it's a thought best abandoned. That's fair. This must be the Lord Chief Justice's desk. I believe it's made of marble. It looks more like an over-the-top tombstone that's toppled over me. I think that's your fanciful imagination at work again, Mr. Naruto. Feels like everything that's normally made of wood and paper at home is made of bricks and stone here. I know. That's why this place feels so overbearing, I'm sure. Yep, surely. Okay, so these candles don't evoke anything. Is this some kind of clock? Actually, I think we might be inside some sort of giant clock. But those gears are larger than anything you'll find on a steam locomotive even. It's eerie. Do you think clocks are some sort of hobby of his? The Lord Chief of Justice, I mean? Well, boys do enjoy fiddling around with machines, don't they? I'm not sure you could fiddle with clocks that size. I'm certain you couldn't call him a boy. Still, it's amazing how little noise the clocks made, and considering how large they are. There's actually something quite soothing about their precise rhythm. Bricks and stones may break my bones, but words cause deep psychological drama. Yeah, sorry about that. That's just how it goes sometimes, you know? That's weird that we just have like a little spot right here to look. Yeah, it's just a little spot to like look. Okay, converse time. London. So what are your impressions of our capital so far? How do you like London? Oh, well, I've been so nervous ever since I got here that I can't remember a single thing about the city. It's simply splendid, isn't it, Mr. Naruto? Oh? We had a wonderful view of some of the London streets from the carriage on the way here from the station. Everything is so impressive and grand. I must say I'm almost lost for words. I'm glad to hear you like it. The city boasts tramways, piped water, and gas. Even cables supplying electricity. We spearheaded every I got tongue twisted. We spearhead every revolutionary new technology in the world. Every visitor to London is astounded. Oh, yes. Astounded is the word. Thanks for saving me there, Sato-san. Everyone seems so jolly and full of vigor. Yes. There's much excitement about the upcoming great exposition we'll be hosting here in London. Great exposition? Cultural and technological achievements from around the globe are to be exhibited here in our great city. It will be the greatest spectacle of its kind in history. It will make Paris's World Fair look like a toy shop. Gosh, I can hardly imagine how magnificent it's going to be. Great Britain's capital city is nothing but magnificence. London is the center of the modern world. If you do say so yourself. The sun will never set on our great empire. That's what Rome said. Perhaps it is fate that in these progressive times, we welcome visitors from the land of the rising sun. Okay, law student. Lord Chief Justice? I think you were expecting a student of law for this student study tour, weren't you? Absolutely. A Mr. Kazuma Osagi, if my memory serves. That's right! The British government has already been telegraphed a full report of the situation. I understand the young man lost his life aboard the steamship bound for our shores. It's amazing. News reached him before we even arrived. My country naturally extends its deepest condolences to yours. Oh, thank you. And you honored this appointment specifically to inform me of the news? Yes. We are here in the capacity of envoys from Japan to report the sad news in person. You tell me you Japanese are a people of protocol and courtesy. I see that it's true. And it is with some regret that I must inform you. But the death of the young lawyer means the study tour arranged can no longer proceed. You would just hear us out, Lord Strongheart. What do you have to say, young madam? It's about the study tour. Mr. Naruhodo here would like to make a proposal. Would he now? Well, Mr. Naruhodo? This is it then. The moment of truth. Da-na-na-na. Continuing the study tour. The thing is, Lord Justice, Lord Strongheart, I was wondering if perhaps you would consider allowing the study tour to go ahead? Don't misunderstand me. Britain would ideally like to see the tour go ahead. But without a lawyer from your country, there's nothing to be done. Well, in that case, what if there was someone else? Another lawyer from Japan, I mean. Is there something I don't know? Only a single lawyer was invited to Great Britain from your country. And that was Mr. Osogi. At least, that is what I've been led to understand. Well, the thing is, this really isn't going well at all. I just can't seem to find the right words to say this man. Mr. Naruhodo! I could ruin things here if I'm not careful. What am I going to say? There's someone else here from Japan who could be described as a lawyer. Actually, there's no one. It's me. It's Miss Sato. What if? You know what? I'm gonna say it's Mrs. Sato. It could probably only be... Yes! Mrs. Sato! An unusual introduction. But I presume you mean this charming lady beside you. You're a lawyer, are you? That looks like she's giving me... After all the days of hard work she put in to help me study, I can't let her down. I think that's quite enough joking. Don't you, Lord Strongheart? My real answer is... it's me! I could do it! Is that so? I mean, I don't actually have any qualifications as such, but... No qualifications, you say? And yet you still claim to be a lawyer. I have acted as a lawyer in court before. Only once. And as it happens, I had Kazuma to help me, and I was the accused, but glossing over the details. I've been spending every spare moment of the journey here to Great Britain studying. I've learned all about British law and court proceedings while I was on board the SS Bruya. The voyage from Japan is some 50 days, I believe. Not what you call a full education. To become a qualified lawyer here in Britain, not only do you need a university degree in law, you must also complete several years of training. I realize it's far too short a period of time, but I can't just go back to Japan. Kazuma, Mr. Osagi's journey had only just begun. Coming here on the study tour was all he thought about. I had to carry on and do everything he planned to do. I know it must sound like I have an overly inflated opinion of myself, but I would do anything to prove that I have what it takes. Any test you care to set me. Just one chance. That's all I'm asking for. Please. This is the next case, isn't it? 31 seconds. Sorry? Your opening statement there, Mr. Naruto. It was 31 seconds long. Not too brief, not too protracted. A perfectly judged appeal, I would say. Which is a skill that would stand in a good stead as a lawyer. Oh, thanks. So, you're willing to put those words to trial, are you? Well, I'm all for entertainment. Huh? Well, let me ask you one thing first, sir. Yes? You say you intend to do everything Mr. Osagi planned. Are you firmly set on that path? Well, yes, that's my intention. I see. Are you imagining things? Or did his expression just alter a fraction there all of a sudden? Very well. You have our wish. I'll give you a chance. A test to become a specially certified lawyer. Whether you pass or fail is entirely down to you. Really? The test? So, what form will the test take exactly? Tell me, Mr. Naruto. Do you consider the role of a lawyer, what do you consider the role of a lawyer to be? Well, defending people, of course. Well said. So let's have you defend someone. Huh? Your timing is perfect, in fact. There's an amped trial about to begin later today. No advocate has been appointed for the defense as yet, so this has to be welcome news. Today? Straight away? You managed to secure a verdict of not guilty. You'll have passed my test. What could be simpler? How do I get myself into these situations? Well, could I ask, what sort of trial is it, Lord Strongheart? Yes, good question. I remember. It's a murder trial. A murder? An extremely simple case, I understand. You really can't lose. That's easy to say. But I should mention, just in case. If the defendant is found guilty, you will, of course, be sentenced to capital punishment. Capital punishment? He'll be put to death? Here in Great Britain, murderers are sent to the gallows without exception. Presumably you read that much in your short C-based introduction to British law. We can't possibly agree to such a test. We would be toying with a man's life. I am the Lord Chief Justice, and I decided it's acceptable. But you can't do that, can you? There's no need to overcomplicate this. All you have to do is ensure that you don't lose. Just don't lose, bro! It's that simple. Just don't lose. It's fine. So the defendant may live or die depending on how well I perform in court. If I lose, he'll be hanged. Mr. Naruto, you come to me claiming to be a lawyer. If you want me to take you seriously, you need to prove you're willing to do a lawyer's job. And you say you intend to see through the will of your compatriot, Mr. Osage? I would like to understand just how far you're willing to go in order to make that happen. He's testing my resolve. What's the matter? You've fallen silent. I'm sorry, but time is pressing. The trial begins shortly. I need an answer from you now. What's it to be? What do I say? Do I agree to this absurd test? I won't do it. I'm gonna save here because I bet you that, like, it's just gonna give me a game over. But if it's a but thou must moment, that'll be great too. Okay. I won't do it. Alright then. I have to give you a decision now. My answer is... I can't do it. I can't get the words out. 15 seconds. Your decision making needs work if you want to be a lawyer. That was too slow. So, as I suspected, is it? Sorry? You have noble intentions, but lack the resolve to see them through. The test is cancelled. Thank you for stopping by. Go and acquire your ticket for passage back to the east tomorrow. This conversation is over. Yes, Lord Strongheart. Thank you for offering me a chance. Mr. Naruto. Sorry, Mrs. Sato, but what could I do? It's alright, I understand. You do? It's not an easy decision to choose whether to defend a man in these circumstances. The resolve was absolutely nothing to do with it. Oh? Did we do a correct thing? Oh! What are you trying to say, madam? I think what Mr. Sato means is that no matter how badly I like to recognize as a lawyer and stay here in Great Britain, to risk another man's life by treating his one and only chance at trial so trivial would be utterly unforgivable. I feel exactly the same way. I'm sure the defendant won't see this trial as a test, as some kind of experiment. A lawyer may fight for his clients in court day after day, but for each one of those clients, that particular day they stand in the dock may be the only chance they have to fight to prove their innocence. No, I was wrong. I'm not qualified to do that job yet. I'm sorry for wasting your precious time, Lord Chief Justice. Wait, Mr. Naruto. Oh, was there something else? It's approximately 20 minutes by carriage to the Old Bailey from here. If you leave immediately, you should still be there in time. But I just said that. I was quite serious in what I told you. The defendant in this case has literally no one to advocate for him. What? At this point, you can't hope to find someone to represent him. The trial will begin without a defense. If that happens, there's only one possible outcome. You will receive the most severe sentence the judge can pass down. But that's awful. But that is the truth. Why does it have to be like this? Please don't expect an answer to every question. The cold hard truth of the matter is that there is only one person now with a chance to save this man from a very miserable end. And that is you. I'm really his only hope? So? What do you say now, madam? Me? What do you mean, Lord Strongheart? You said it wasn't an easy decision to choose whether to defend a man in these circumstances. And I agree. But in my estimation, It is purely and simply a matter of resolve. Oh. Our time is up here. I have a meeting to attend. I must leave in 2 minutes and 16 seconds. So, venture into our great city and enjoy yourselves. He's gone. Old Bailey. If we're going to do this, Mr. Naruto, we must leave at once. Okay. Oh, we can reverse her? What to do? I'm gonna present this to her. Mr. Sato, can I just ask you something? Careful. From this position, I can perform a Sato takedown in an instant. I know. Mr. Naruto, you heard Lord Strongheart. The trial starts imminently. If I need to throw you, I will. You know, you could just say, I think we should hurry to the courtroom. If you need to ask me anything, I'd better wait until we're at the Old Bailey. Okay. I think we're all good on things. I think it's probably just gonna be her scolding us, like, we don't need to be looking, blah blah blah. So let's go with the Old Bailey. We're going to the Old Bales. Well, that's cool that we're starting off with a trial. I always love it when Phoenix Wright games start off with a trial first and foremost. One of my favorite cases actually is like the fourth case. No, the fourth case in the 6th game, where it literally is just like all trial, and like it's just like really hard. And I like those kind of cases where it's really hard to actually like go through things and whatnot. And that's what gets me. 19th February. 18th February. Why did I say 19th? 9:45 a.m. The Old Bailey defendant's antechamber. Yeah. Cactar, I've been saying that I like it hard. Okay, for quite some time. But I like things easy too. And soft is fun. Oh, thank goodness we're in time. There's still 15 minutes until the trial begins. Never knew a horse-drawn carriage could go so fast. Thought my teeth were going to rattle loose. Make up your damn mind before your girlfriend arrives. I'm going to her! Me go to her! That's what's gonna happen. Yeah. That's gonna be fun on a bun. That's gonna be great. Someone gave me the idea to actually stream with her, so I might actually go do that. I'm gonna actually stream with her. Get damn it before she slams you on her bed. That's the idea, is that she slams me on the bed. I want to be kapudoned, where the whole entire like they slam the wall and just like do all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? That's good stuff. Do you hear what I said to the driver when we climbed aboard? Get us to our destination in 5 minutes, driver. There's a guinea in it for you. It's one of my favorite lines from the Herlock Sholmes stories, and it worked quite perfectly. I'm not sure why you're so pleased. I thought we were going to die, and we had to pay gold for the privilege. Well, at least we arrived here before the trial started. Yes, I suppose there's that. Anyway, I don't understand it. The court clerk said the defendant should be here, but there's no sign of him at all. Don't tell me it's Herlock Sholmes. Don't tell me it's Herlock Sholmes. So this is the Old Bailey. Even this room for defendants to wait in is grand. Are you alright, Mr. Naruto? I'm feeling tense, that's all. This place gives me the same sense of foreboding that I remember from the Supreme Court in Japan. An oppressive air. Almost as if the building itself is going to crush whoever is about to be sentenced. Feels like only yesterday that I was the one about to be crushed. Yes, whoever the man you're here to defend is, I imagine he's feeling very alone in this moment. it's this dude? What are you doing? Follow me here. Things aren't fair desperate, are they? Sorry? Would you look at those expressionless faces? From these are you? We're from Japan, yes? Ah, Japan, is it? Right, say no word. So, how much do you need? No, we're just here because... No need to explain, fella. I've been here myself, so I have. No place to go, nothing to eat, barely a penny to your name. And all while in a strange faraway land. Well, actually, we haven't found a place to stay yet. No. 'Tis grand, 'tis grand. Let me start by giving yous 1,000 guineas. This ain't nothing now. 1,000 guineas? Please, Mr. Sato, you don't have to shout. But 1,000 guineas is enough to build an entire mansion in the most prestigious area of Tokyo. What? Tis nothing to me at all. I like to ensure I have sufficient funds to weather a rainy day, you see. I have enough wealth to buy the city of London 2 or 3 times over. Could that much rain even fall in one day? Even so, we couldn't possibly accept such a large sum of money. Ah! Hit me in the eye! Don't get me wrong, fella. I'm not giving you no strings attached. I've been wanting you to do something for me. Oh? To be honest, that's a little embarrassing. The trial that's about to begin, you see, is for me good old self here. I'll be in the dock. So now, what I want you to do is come along with me and stay there beside me. Officially, you'll be my lawyer, but that's just a little detail now. Oh, well, the thing is, don't worry about a thing. All you have to do is stand up there next to me, nothing more. Otherwise, you see, the trial is going to start with me having any kind of representation at all. So it was true. The Lord Chief Justice wasn't just making it all up. I'm terribly sorry to have to ask, but does that mean you're the defendant in this trial? Bluster and blazes, does you? Does you not know who I am? Me, one of London's biggest names. No, sorry. We've only just arrived in the city, you see. I see. I suppose it isn't altogether impossible. Well, just next to Hyde Park, there in the center of London is another beautiful park. Sorry, a park? What? It is called McLeod Park, full of blossoming flowers in the spring and singing birds and whatnot. I donated it to the city, so I did. An entire park? In central London? A city of smiles. That's my vision for London. There's nothing Magnus McGillen wouldn't do for the city and its core old people. That's amazing. I mean, really extraordinary. Aye, but now that I call to say I'm a good-for-nothing criminal, me, Magnus McGillen. What is the matter with the London police, I ask you? Alright, don't pass out. Mr. Naruto. Perhaps now would be a good time to introduce ourselves, while a gentleman catches his breath. Good idea. Mr. McGloulden, the thing is, we're actually here in London to study British law. We're a lot of students on a study tour from Japan, you see. So, if you don't have a lawyer for the trial yet, and you'd be happy to put yourself in our hands, we do. What was I after saying, you daftweed? I'd give you 1,000 guineas to stand up there next to me, haven't I? Well, yes, but I wasn't really offering to stand up there next to you. Oh, I think I see what's going on here. Sorry? I know what you're thinking. This cancer of a fella claims to have more money than the Queen. But if that's true, why the blazes can he be hired the finest lawyer in all the land? Because he did, that's the only explanation. Well? Well... Not at all. Can't trust his hat. I trust him because of the hat. Rar, I trust him literally because of that. He's also have an Irish accent. I love Irish accents, especially doing them, even though I'm bad at them. There's a rabbit under there pulling his hair. You know what? That might be the case. Might be a Mad Hatter. I don't know. Although, it is a little strange to be honest. Why you don't have a lawyer, I mean. That would be a fault of me, the Reaper. Sorry? Did you just say Reaper? Aye, the Grim Reaper of Valley. Lord Brook Van Zix. He's the prosecutor. The prosecutor is the Grim Reaper? When Van Zinks stands for the prosecution, they call the accused his sacrificial lambs. And to this day, every single trial in which he's been the prosecutor, the accused has been damned. What? No, it's the lawyer version of Ratatouille. Yep. So it's reached a desperation situation. Where there's no one willing to stand in defense against the fella at all. You could say he's a living legend of the Old Bail. Goodness, Lord Barak Van Zeeks. He must be exceptionally talented prosecutor then. Talented isn't the word you're looking for, madam. It's cursed. Cursed? On Earth? The defendant is summoned and his counsel. Please make your way to the courtroom. The trial's about to begin. His counsel? That would be me. Oh, it is time. Well then, fella, don't let me down. But I don't know anything about the case. You haven't told me what happened. Until you showed your face here. I made up my mind, so I had... Sorry? I decided I have to defend myself in there. How would that have worked? But then you made an appearance. I stood with the law, wouldn't you know? 'Tis no accident. I can assure you of that. 'Tis fate. So don't get cold feet now, please. I literally know nothing about the case, or about this man who stands accused. In fact, the only thing I do know is that I can't just turn my back on him. Mr. Nara, though. But the man has no one left. We have to stand alone in the courtroom, armed with nothing to defend himself. Yes, something that Cosmo would never have allowed to happen. Counsel for the defense! What are you doing? If you're late for the start of the trial, you will lose your right to stand. Be right there. It's happening then. My first trial in the British court. I hope you're watching over me, Cosmo. Because I have no idea how I'm going to manage this. February. The Old Bailey courtroom, 10 a.m. You know what that typography reminds me of? The typing bit? Sonic Adventure 2. So this is the highest court in Great Britain. Old Bailey. Centuries of history in this place is palpable, isn't it? It's so different to the Supreme Court in Japan. It feels both imposing and sincere. Serene at the same time. The atmosphere almost makes words redundant. Whenever the country determining a person's guilt or innocence is always a solemn affair. May I ask something, Mr. Naruto? Oh, yes. What? Your eyes look ready to pop out of their head, again. I know, but I just can't help it. He's a vampire! This old dude. He looks like Santa. Is that Santa?
In the name of Her Majesty, the Queen, I hereby declare this court to be in session. We are here today to determine the guilt and innocence of Mr. Magnus McGillen.
That's what Sin say about me. Said it, that you're a vampire? Valid.
I now call upon the consuls for the prosecution and defense to declare their willingness to proceed. The prosecution is fully prepared.
That must be the Reaper of the Bailey. He really does look fully prepared to dispatch his next poor victim to the underworld.
Counsel for the defense, you appear to be Eastern. Do you speak English?
Huh? Oh, yes, of course! Sorry! But he asked if the defense was ready. But I couldn't be further from ready if I tried.
Those eyes please me.
Nipponese.
They shroud your fear, your doubt, your trepidation. They run wild, clinging to some phantom notion of courage. The quintessential look of a sacrificial lamb.
A cold shiver just ran down my spine, all the way to the tips of my toes.
No, Mr. McGillen.
Yes, my lord.
You stand accused of murder, a capital offense. You could be sent to the gallows if found guilty. Are you quite sure you wish to entrust your defense to this foreigner?
As I've always said, my lord, 'tis a grand thing to give opportunities to the youth. Even if the fella is a student from some little island off in the far east. Is it not the British way to ignore the dangers to yourself and give those less fortunate a fair chance? I like to think that acts of chivalry do the great British Empire proud. Listen to Mr. McGillen. What a fine gentleman London has in him. Did you hear that he donated 5,000 pounds to the government? Arthur, please, may we go? Please? Okay. It seems as though everyone in the public gallery is firmly behind Mr. McGillen. That's definitely welcoming news. But he certainly has a way of words. I'm surprised he can't convince anyone to defend himself.
Eloquently put, Mr. McGillen, and most laudable sentiments. Now, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I'm sure I need hardly remind you that you 6 members of the public have been selected for, impartiality. Are you ready to proceed?
Yes, my lord. The task is to send Walters to the gallows where they belong. I'm more than ready. At the manor, his lordship always says we should dispose of rubbish promptly. Naturally, I agree.
How criminals here will soon be wishing they never set eyes on me.
Just has a drinking problem. I feel a chill. Oh, don't mind me, my dears. Just be getting on with my knitting. Let's finish these mittens for my grandson. Ah, Mr. Naruto. Those people are... the jury, yes. That's something we don't have in Japan yet. That's right. I've only ever read about it. But here in Great Britain, the court's final verdict depends on the opinion of these 6 jurors. The judge passes sentence according to the law, but the jurors determine guilt upon based on common sense. So the defendant is ultimately judged from 2 completely different points of view. But how exactly did the jurors give their verdict? That I don't know, but I'm sure it will become clear as the trial progresses. Yes.
Prosecutor Van Zieks, my lord. It's been a number of years since we've seen you here in the courtroom. I thought you renounced your fame. I'm known as the Reaper of the Bailey, my lord. Infamy rather than fame, I would say. But yes, 5 years have passed since I last spread my wings in this capacity. So what brings you back? Is there some change of circumstance of which the court should be aware? I leave that to your imagination, my lord.
So the Reaper has been out of action for 5 years? Why did he have to choose the day of all days to make it a comeback? Don't lose heart, Mr. Naruto.
As you wish, sir. The court nevertheless welcomes your return. Now then, opening statements, I think. A summary of the case, if you please.
Certainly, my lord.
As your lordship is aware, this is a case of overwhelming simplicity.
You must be the only one in here. Well, you must be the only one in here who aren't aware.
The incident took place in the late evening. 3 days passed. The hour was some minutes after 10. The victim was a maker of building bricks, known in the community as Thrice-Fired Manson.
Sorry? Thrice?
He was a very accomplished craftsman. The bricks he fired were said to be almost indestructible. The victim's corpse was discovered in a ambulance in service on the streets of London at the time. A dagger that had been thrusted into the victim's abdomen. Thrusted. Is believed to be the ultimate cause of death. Here's the autopsy report of the investigating medical officer at Scotland Yard. Thank you, Consul. I shall accept that and the photograph as evidence.
Okay, we got things. I like how this is just like how Edgeworth did it, because Edgeworth was also all about autopsy changes.
And one further item of evidence. The prosecution wishes to submit these as well. And these are...
Ah!
Good lord. Is that blood, Consul? Yes, my lord. Seized by the policemen, who arrived at the scene. These gory soaked gloves were taken from the hands of the accused when he was arrested.
What? Mr. Gilding's gloves have blood on them?
Yes, I will accept these as evidence as well.
Well, already looking bad. What doesn't? How do I get into this? I'm back to the court before I even started.
Continuing. According to the driver of the Umbus, there were only 2 passengers traveling inside his vehicle at the time.
Only 2?
Obviously, one of those passengers was the deceased brickmaker, Mr. Mason. The other was the accused, Magnus McGilden. Well, rather depending circumstances to say the least. Defendant, what say you?
Well, of course, I had no recollection of such a thing. Mr. McGillen? To be sure, I rode the omnibus that evening. But whenever I'm in the carriage, I've taken it with a fierce tiredness, and I always succumb to it.
Are you claiming to have been asleep?
'Tis the motion of the carriage, my lord. Litting it so it is. And when I opened my eyes, again, 'twas a desperate sight before me. The blood of a man I've never laid eyes on before in me life. Now I ask you, what good-hearted soul wouldn't rush to help a pale and bleeding out from his stomach? I wasn't about to start worrying about me gloves now, was I? I reached out to give a man a hand. It's the blood that got on the gloves then. To the man had been killed.
Unfortunately, that statement of the driver's is only the beginning.
What? That's not all of it?
And there were multiple witnesses to the precise moment at which the brickmaker was fatally stabbed.
Oof. Oof, oof, oof. Oof-de-loof.
Order, order, order! When the killing took place, only the victim and the accused were inside the carriage. And there were witnesses to the crime. This is not just a case of compelling evidence. It's the nail in the coffin for the accused. Thank you, counsel. The circumstances of the crime have been made clear, quite clear. I think we will hear testimony from these witnesses first of all. Your wish is my command. Bailiff, bring the witnesses in at once.
Oh my god, a freezing dude, the super British man, and a little boy! I mean, he's not little, but like, come on.
Witness, your names and occupation?
My name is, everyone calls me Bibbo. I drive an omnibus in the East End.
Bruce Fairplay, I'm a banker in the city.
My name's First. Lady First. I make hats for gents.
Let's begin by confirming the facts. 3 days ago, a short time after 10 o'clock in the evening, all you present in the stand were in the omnibus to witness to the fomented incident. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Quite right?
Yes, sir, that's right, sir.
Very well then. Let's proceed to our formal testimonies, please. Each of you will tell the court precisely what you saw.
Well, what the witnesses saw, it was the last bus of the evening, so I had few customers. I remember it well.
The victim and the man accused of killing him were sat next to each other inside the bus. Then, out of the blue, the accused just reached over and plunged a knife right into his guts.
That's right, he stabbed him. I screamed, I did. Couldn't help it. As soon as I heard the scream, I stopped my bus. And then I saw it too.
Unambiguous testimony, I must say. Exactly, my lord. These men witnessed the incident in the omnibus with their own eyes.
I'd like to ask a question, if I may.
Yes, counsel?
Well, this testimony makes absolutely no sense to me whatsoever.
Why not?
Well, the incident took place inside a moving carriage, didn't it?
As has been clearly stated from the outset, yes.
Well, in that case, how could those two witnesses possibly have seen what happened? There's no way they could have seen the inside of a moving carriage. This is just, he just, yeah. How quaint. I've read that civilization in the Eastern Isles nations was a good century behind our own. But you're here in London yourself. You're really so arrogant about our omnibuses? Huh? Tell me, my Nipponese friend, have you even traveled in an omnibus? Well, no. We, only arrived in London this morning. No matter. I've arranged for us all to see for ourselves. The actual scene of the crime, that is. What do you mean? Actual scene? How? A carriage is designed to be moved, after all. Presumably you understand that much. Yes? The omnibus in which this bloody crime took place is here today. In this very building. Here? What? The entire carriage? Bailiff. Bring forth the stricken omnibus. There it be. Oh, look at that. It's a little cutesy little thing. So that's an omnibus. The omnibus? Can't believe they could bring something so enormous in here. Great Britain's courtrooms are amazing. As you can see, the omnibus is pulled by 2 horses and can carry up to 8 passengers. Four passengers seated inside an enclosed cabin, and another 4 on the rooftop deck above. Every Londoner knows that the best views of the city's architecture and sights are to be had from the top of the omnibus. I should point out to our foreign guests that there is a skylight to the roof, allowing a view of the internal from the seats above. A skylight? Oh. The penny drops at last, I see. These 2 gentlemen were occupying the rooftop seats on this omnibus when the murder took place. Oh, thank you for hosting me, Bio. I appreciate that. Thank you. Much obliged. That is how they came to witness the grim incident. Through the skyline. That makes perfect sense. Well, Consul, this is the first. In all my years behind the bench, I never experienced the crime scene itself. Oh my god! Thank you for subscribing, Bio! Oh my god! Waiting for dinner, just wanted to be here for more amazing voice work. Thank you! I'm glad you like my voices. Much obliged. I do what I can. In all my years behind the bench, I never experienced the crime scene itself being brought in the courtroom. There are a number of important clues remaining inside the carriage, my lord. I would like to submit the omnibus itself as evidence. Do the same thing and make voices. Yeah, it's super fun! I love doing it too. I've only seen a little bit of your voice work, but if you're playing Skies of Arcadia like I think you are, I definitely need to pop in a stream properly. Just been busy with a lot of things. Yeah. But things should be slowing down soon. Soon! And then I won't have to worry so much. Can't get Skies to work? What? Why can't you get Skies to work? No! Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that. That sucks. You want your sound effects? Sound effects? Does it just not have like sound effects or something? That's kind of weird. I'm sorry to hear your tech issues and whatnot. I remember you going to go do it, but I had to like go to work or some jazz like that, so I couldn't stay for that bit. I'm sorry to hear. Like the fart and nut sounds. Okay, yeah. I love the fart and nut sounds. They're fun. Farts are funny. They just are. Very well, I see no reason why not. You want to be able to hear that and play Skies. Yeah.
This omnibus is hereby formally accepted as evidence.
God dang. Big ass thing. Can't believe it. The entire crime scene entered as evidence? Yes. Great Britain is simply extraordinary. I could help myself a lot by giving the omnibus a thorough examination, seeing as it's here.
Let us continue our proceedings, then. Your cross-examination, Consul? Pray don't expect this Nipponese stray to understand the intricacies of British courts' cross-examination rights.
This is just like, he did a breathe, and we're just like, Lord, give me the patience not to slap a hoe. Like, that was the exact breath that he took. Alright, my first cross-examination in the British court. I love how he just does that shit. Focus, Renosuke, focus! Here we go. Okay, what they saw. It was the last of the evening, so I had a few customers remember it well. I don't think we can press that. Victor and the men accused were sat next to each other. Let's press on this. And you saw them through the skylight in the roof of the carriage?
That's right. When I sit up on the top deck, the window's right there at your feet. There was a lamp on inside, so I had a pretty good view. The two of them were wearing hats. I couldn't exactly make out their faces. But there's not a shred of doubt in my mind that it was Mr. McLidden.
How can you be so sure?
Well, how can I put this politely? McGillen is a gentleman of rather small nature. I couldn't mistake him for anyone else. Let's not forget that when the vehicle came to a halt, the only people inside the enclosed cabin were the deceased Mr. Mason and Mr. McGillen. There's no room for doubt here. I really wish there was. Then out of the blue, the accused just reached over and plunged a knife right into his guts.
Hold it!
You actually saw the exact moment it happened? Didn't I already testify that? Or are, fair, Duncan, hard-working city bankers not considered trustworthy these days? Oh, no, I didn't mean it like that. This is no good. I've really, got his back up. Perhaps you could just tell us what you saw in a little more detail? Oh, what? Juror number 3? What's the meaning of this?
My mind is made up, my lord. Completely and utterly made up.
Made up about what?
I don't like the stinking rich. Never have. They're always up to something or other than they shouldn't be. Every one of them. And that little leprechaun of a man is no exception. Well, he can't fool me. Tell you this yesterday, but your Japanese pronunciations are perfect. Really? Thank you. I appreciate that. Pavlova. Yeah, I'm not good at Russian. I'm just not. Thank you, though, Bio. I appreciate that. Like, honestly. There's no point wasting time listening to any more of this. That's my opinion on the matter, anyway.
This is precisely what I was about to say. As the foreman of the jury, it's my duty to set a good example to my fellow jurors.
What? Oofala.
What the? What is happening here?
Let me see. I guess. It seems that's how the members of the jury give their verdicts.
With fire?
Certainly, yes. White for innocent, black for guilt. As the 6 members of the jury make up their mind about the case, one by one they each cast a ball of fire into the great scales of justice, as we saw a moment ago. So if those enormous scales fall completely to the black side, does that mean... Let's do our very best to make sure that doesn't happen. I'm even more worried about than I was before.
Very well. The court acknowledges the change to the jury's stance. Counsel for the defense, please continue with your cross-examination.
This is a nightmare. Poor guy. That's right, you stabbed him. I screamed, I did. Couldn't help it.
Hold it!
He stabbed him, you say? And you were sitting up on the roof deck, were you? Yes, that's right, sir. I was up to the roof seats. I remember seeing the little gent sitting next to the fellow that was stabbed. I've been thinking about a new hat design, you see, so I was just gazing absent-mindedly around. But then I happened to look down through the skylight. It was sticking right out of his belly. That huge great knife.
A grim sight indeed.
Didn't help me at all. Sure, it looks like they're even more convinced my client did it than they were before. That appears to have been made everyone even more dubious that Mr. Cloden is telling the truth. If only we had some evidence to counter their suspicions.
Mr. First.
Yes, sir.
Is this the knife you saw?
Oh, good grief! Yes, that's it! The very one, sir! Is that it?
Yes, Counsel. This is the blade that was driven into the victim's belly like a stake through the heart.
Stab through the heart, but you're too late. You give the British a bad name.
That is a blade of considerable size, Counsel. It is, and furthermore, the scabbard is emblazoned promptly with a certain initial. The letter M, which seems oddly familiar.
Ugh, please, no.
For Magnus, perhaps. Or Moglinden, possibly. Take your pick. It seems this particular big name in London made a magnificent mistake.
Objection!
But there are M's everywhere! Yes! Like in Mason!
Objection!
This blade is far too extravagant for a poor brickmaker to have owned. No, this weapon of murder also almost certainly belongs to the accused. Not conclusive, but certainly compelling, Counsel. Oof.
My lord, if you'll forgive the interruption.
Juror number 2. Go on.
Mr. Gillen is a pillar of society and a gentleman. And a gentleman's word should be, sacrosanct. What? What is that word? What is that word? I'm scared of it. Sacrosanct? Sat? I don't know. However, those of us in service know we must accept hard truths. It's French? Damn French people. This is the second time the French people have screwed me over. Wait, what are you about to... dispose of the rubbish. Okay, so I know this is an odd thing to say right now, but the maid has a stoic look, and those stoic looks... they do a lot for me. Like, I really like stoic looks. I'm just, whew. Yeah, stoic. Kind of like that. Sacro-san. Okay, Sacro-san. Okay. How do you know how to pronounce all these things, Bio? God dang. You're pretty amazing at that. No. I don't wish to cause offense, but I do like to eradicate all traces of filth and grime. Uh-oh. Oh no. I have painstakingly typed every word uttered here today, cross-reference all the facts. As such, I am now in the position to draw the only logical conclusion. Things aren't looking good for old Runosuke. Not again. That's 4 out of 6 jury members who've proposed a guilty verdict. There are only 2 left. We've had it. Every time I press these witnesses for more information, they just make the situation worse. You took French in high school and you're good at pronouncing Russian? Unlike someone I know. Damn. I don't know what to tell you. Nevertheless, what we need more than anything at the moment is more information. We're still very much in the dark. Suppose I'll just have to keep pressing the witness, knowing the more sparks may well fly. We mustn't give up hope that we'll uncover something that will give us a way to fight back. But... alright, I'll keep trying. Can't give up. We just need to calm down and listen to the witness's statements again. Okay. As soon as I heard the screaming, I stopped my bus, and then I saw it too. Hold it! Food is here. You'll be lurking. That's fine. Go lurk. Eat food. That sounds great. I can't wait to have food after this too. I'm gonna cook some bacon. What exactly did you see? Oh, well, sir. That would be the passenger, sir. He collapsed on the floor. Yes, we see. And by the passenger, obviously you're referring to the victim. Mr. Mason, the brickmaker. Yeah, bacon. Yeah. And then the other passenger had a knife in his hand. Like this. By the other passenger, obviously you're referring to the accused. Mr. Mangus, McLeod. And then he plunged it down like this, stabbing the other passenger in the belly. Belly. What? Order! Order! It's hard to believe one of London's greatest philanthropists, but this is damning indeed. The law knows no philanthropists, my lord. Only the innocent and the guilty. Good deeds mean nothing when overshadowed by evil. The truth is everything. Couldn't agree more, sir. The truth. Alright, so when it happened, only 2 people in the enclosed cabin area were the victim and the defendant. And, so help me, and 3 whole people witnessed the man I'm trying to defend do the deed? I don't like to be pessimistic, but we do seem to be in the rather difficult situation here. What am I supposed to think here? Is Mr. McLean really innocent? Or could it be... Before we jump to conclusions, our first task should be to gather information. We need to understand the case much better than we do at the moment. Yes, you're absolutely right. Let's listen to those witness statements again. A little more carefully this time. Okay. It's the last bus in the evening, so I have a few customers, remember? Well, let's press this really quick, because we haven't pressed it yet. Yes, I think it was sometime after 10, wasn't it? Yes, sir. That's right, sir. Yes, ever so close. It was, sir. For a reason, in fact. And you had 4 passengers on board at the time? Is that correct? Yes, that's right, sir. Not all traveling in the same parts of the bus, but of course, though, no. I forgot there's this. I forgot there is this that you can look at. And there were no other passengers when the incident took place. No one, alighted, for example? You're quite, right with that, sir. No other passengers like that. No, none. So that's our standard. So nobody fled the scene of the crime then. I have to say, the boss insists on running. He does every evening, last bus of the day. But I do wonder sometimes if it's altogether worthwhile. Yes, this is sorry to say. What do you mean by that? Well, what with it being so cold and everything, only making 20 pence on the run, you see. Yes, I spend that much on the pub on the way home, just trying to warm up again. I just can't believe it, sir. I can't believe it. Murder on my bus. It's too awful to think about. I haven't been able to shake this cold ever since. My lord, I wish to speak. Yes, juror number 5. Do I take it that you too, as the Master of London Guild of Coachmen, the idea of a murder being committed in one of the city's carriages is utterly abhorrent to me. It would be right to make a decision beforehand on the facts, though, I said to myself. But I've heard enough now. The horse is bolted, as they say. No, please, just keep it open mind. Get up now, Silverblaze. The finish is in sight. God dang it. Oh, this isn't good. We just have the grandmas.
Bimbo is a long-standing member of the guild, and I trust what the man says. Oh, thank you, sir. You're too kind, sir. This is too unkind, sir. Which now means that 5 jurors agree to condemn this man.
Bleh. Come on, Granny. Hope for hope.
Madam Juror number 6.
Yes, dear. What can I do for you?
You have heard the testimonies of the witness and the stand.
Yes, I certainly have. Still got my hearing, you know.
Then pray tell, why have you yet to pronounce your leaning?
Well, dear, the thing is, I'm a creature of habit. Me. I always go to the park at around this time of day and sit on a nice bench and get on with my knitting. There's a lovely little park just near where I live. Mickland Park, it's called. The gentleman donated to the city, you know, to put a smile on Londoners' faces, he said. I can imagine such a fine young gentleman would have it in him to take another man's life.
Damn, yeah.
A man that would, yeah, he wouldn't. Do. The McGillen Public Library later?
How many Londoners live with their heads in the clouds? Do you people not know? What kind of man Magnus McGillen really is?
What kind of manning is he?
The philanthropist, Magnus McGillen, has enough wealth to purchase the entire city he claims to value so highly. But where did all that wealth come from? Your client is a shy lock, sir, and one of the very darkest of souls.
What? Stone the Crows!
McGillen leads his money at extraordinary rates of interest, so his victims have no hopes of repaying him. When they default, he takes possession of everything they own. He is a vulture that preys on the weak.
I've never heard of many mention of that before.
The facilities haven't deserted you, I'm sure, madam. So has this thought not crossed your mind? Would a man wealthy enough to buy London in its entirety not have a carriage of his own? What possible reason could this man have had to make use of the public omnibus as service? You're not saying that the victim, a poor brickmaker, had next to nothing to his name, save a considerable financial liability. It would come as no surprise that his creditor was the accused, Magnus McLind. But let it also be known that the very day Mr. Mason was killed was the final repayment date for his debts. Eating but back. Okay, glad to hear. Welcome back. Hope your food's good. Ah, good gracious. The brickmaker was destitute. He had lost his house. He had not a shilling with which to repay his debts. And in the end, his pitiful soul had the very last thing he owed taken from him. His life. By the merciless philanthropist, pretender, Magnus McLind. I don't believe it.
Hold it!
I might add something briefly. Susato? You claim that the victim had been lent money by Mr. McLind? But where's the evidence to support your claim? This bitch. Are you fucking kidding me? Pray forgive the discourtesy of filling my hollow chalice in a court of law. He does look like a Dracula. It sounds like it'd be blood. Like, honestly, like, legitimately. Aha, there it is! Lord Van Zeek's hollowed chalice. It's a fucking wrestler move up in here! Now he's getting in the chair! Well, bam! How can this be considered acceptable? Yeah, he does have hard Castlevania vibes. I love that. I love that for him. And I find myself in unexpectedly good humor. I had heard ladies from the Far East could show great courage, but I didn't expect to experience it myself. As traditional assistant to the defense, I am simply doing my job. What a pity that your display of courage is in vain. This is the debt ledger, which details all monies loaned by the accused. You will find the victim's name clearly recorded here, inside. Oh. Allow me to present this ledger as evidence. And pray forgive the discourtesy of raising my chalice, in a toast of the enigmatic East at the same time. A marvelous toast, Counsel. I will gladly accept this new evidence. Yay, we got new evidence. I think that's all the evidence that we could get, so we should be able to do something. Yes, 20 guineas. The victim owned a considerable sum. And the accused made quite certain he had ample, recompense. Well, it would seem I've had the wool pulled over my eyes. Forgettably, madam, that is the modus operandi of the accused. It's such a pretty little part, too. What a scoundrel! No, damn it. Damn it all. Still... maybe it's all for the best. Wait a minute! Let's try to think... I don't stand for nonsense! I've never seen Furious Name before. I never have. That's just ridiculous. Phoenix Wright does again. Well, Ace Attorney. That was it. The last juror's decision. According to this Encyclopedia of British Law, when all members of the jury have concluded that the defendant is guilty, court proceedings are suspended, and the proceeding judge will deliver the final verdict and sentence.
That's what it says here. Ah, the final verdict. It's over then. Oh. There's a footnote, though. A footnote? However, the defense...
All 6 members of the jury are now to agreement in this case. Allow me to convey my respect for your swift and righteous decision. According to the laws of this country, I will now conclude the trial by delivering my final verdict. I trust there are no objections.
Mrs. Otto, please tell me one thing. No, yes? You were in the middle of saying something before. The footnote in your encyclopedia of British law. Or the defense... What did it say next? Oh, yes. Of course. One moment. When all members of the jury have concluded the defendant is guilty, court proceedings are suspended, and the proceeding judge will deliver the final verdict and sentence. Then the footnote says, however, the defense has the right to demand a submission examination of the jurors at this point. Are you going to take jury members off the trial? A submission examination?
Objection!
A submission examination. From which century has that tome you have there been resurrected? Ah. Judging from the binding, I would say that book is at least 50 years old. Any modern text on British law wouldn't even give such an antiquated procedure a mention. It's a relic, long forgotten and certainly no longer practiced. So you're out of luck.
Oh. He put up his little thing! His little thing! Did you see it? It was cute! What even is, Mrs. Otto? This so-called submission, examination. Oh, one moment. I'll read about it.
You would demand the right to proceed. Procedure before you even understand what it entails? Typical Nipponese.
Alright, Mr. Naruto. I think I understand. It seems that under this procedure, we would be able to appeal to the members of the jury.
To do what exactly?
Appeal to them to change their leniency and reversing their decisions. It says here that... I love her little... This part right here, the animation... It's just so good. If successful, the proceeding of the trial must be resumed. May they reverse their decision?
Yes, in times gone by, barristers would use a submission examination to attempt to influence the jury's decision. But the procedure became something of a formality with no practical benefit, really. So it rather fell out of use.
I wonder why.
Because it was devoid of purpose. Changing just one member of the jury's mind would be hard enough, let alone several. No self-respecting and defense barrister would ever assert his right to try in this day and age.
Still, I don't see any mention of the procedure actually being formally revoked.
What are you suggesting?
I'm suggesting that although it may be antique and largely forgotten, it isn't yet extinct. This is something that happens in a lot of court trials. They bring up old shit that was not placed before. This is a thingy thing. In court, it's still a thingy thing. It's what happens when you hear things like when people aren't allowed to like have a pet duck or something like that, you know? There's really cookie laws out there that were made a long time ago. Yeah, thingy thing. What do you think, Mr. Naruto? Summation examination. Our last possible option. Do we assert our right to carry it out or admit defeat? Let's admit defeat. We have to assert our right. Obviously, come on. The defense wishes to assert its right to the submission, examination, my lord.
Objection!
What are you objecting to? London is the capital city of the most powerful nation on earth. We have a duty to the world to exemplify the very highest standards of judicial procedure. Wait, his ass hurts? I don't know, maybe. Summation examinations are an embarrassment that should remain buried.
Objection!
But it's our right. It's our right. I believe it could prove fatal in this trial. Vital. Asserts. Yeah, ass. Ass hurts. Oh my god. Fucking Via. The defense position is perfectly valid. The court will proceed with the summation examination. This is madness. Yep, it's part alright. Foreman, are you and the remainder of the jury ready? I'm not, there was no mention of this in the letter I received, you see, so... All members of the jury will be asked to explain on what grounds they have reached the decision. I like a lot of things if I had some money. What grounds? You must all justify your decisions and explain why you believe the defendant to be guilty. Well, my lord, I'd rather putting us on the spot. This is the most irregular. No mention was made of this before. I don't really hold with all this justifying lark. It seems to have thrown the jurors off. It seems none of them have experienced this before. Alright then. The summation examination. A defense procedure no practicing lawyer has attempted for years, is it? Well, just maybe. It might be the opportunity we've been looking for. To turn this trial around. So be it then. Ladies and gentlemen of the court. The jury, the court hereby calls upon you to state the grounds on which you find the defendant, Mangus McGillen, guilty of this most serious crime. Judicial findings. There was no one else inside the carriage at the time, so it has to have been him. I trust the driver. He has an excellent memory, it seems. 4 passengers with fares, totaling 20 pence. He stuck the chap next to him just like this. Brazen, I must say. Absolutely brazen. I've simply typed and collated all the statements made thus far and drawn the logical conclusions. You can trust the guild. Fair fares is our motto. We haven't raised prices over above 4 pence for years. The scoundrel stabbing that poor man on the floor. It beggars a believer. I'm starting to wish I hadn't pushed for this now. Some of the jurors don't seem to have wonderfully formed arguments, though, do they? Well, let's see what we could do. We need to get these 6 people to change their minds. To throw everything I can at them. And use some very persuasive language. Just a moment, Mr. Naruto. According to my book, that's not quite how it works. Oh? I thought I was going to have to thaw their icy minds with some heartwarming rhetoric about the defense. Unfortunately, once the jurors had decided the defendant is guilty, they're unlikely to heed anything the defense says. But then, they reach their conclusions by their own reasoning, you see. Your pleas will sound like excuses. In fact, it could recoil on you. The more you try to persuade them, the more entrenched they may become. Then what on earth am I supposed to do? Oh dear. I'm just citing what I've read about British law. Mr. Nardo? Right. I'm sorry. Do you have any idea how to make this work, then? Well, from what I can understand, the key to this procedure is using the juror's own words to make your arguments. What do you mean? Well, the 6 members of the jury are randomly selected members of the public. They may appear to present a united front, but the truth is, they are complete strangers who just happen to find themselves here in the courtroom together. And that's the way to break them down, you mean? And that's the way to break them down, you mean? Yes, exactly. We must listen very carefully to what each member of the jury says, and see if we can identify any contradictory statements. If we can, we then contrast statements and pit the corresponding jurors against each other. I see. So it's contradiction in what 2 or more jurors say that we're looking for. In a way, then, this is similar to a regular cross-examination. Oh, yes, I suppose you're right. Find contradictions in their statements, and pit the jurors against one another to break them down. Alright, I'll be able to pull this off. No, that's not right. I have to pull this off!
Can we start proceedings, Consul? I would ask you take this to the stand for this, expecting a clear and concise rebuttal.
Yes, my lord. Oh my god, he has a little sword and everything. It's great. The defense's rebuttal.
There was no one else beside the carriage at the time, so it has to have been him.
Oh, we could pit people? Has an excellent memory. Chat next to him just like this. Drawn to logical conclusion. You trust the guild. Fair affairs. It's our motto. We haven't raised the 4 pence. Actually, I think this is what we're gonna do, because 4 pence, and that's 5 people. With fairs, we have to pit this. I believe it's this one. I trust the driver. He has an excellent memory, it seems. 4 passengers with fares totaling 20 pence! You can trust the fare, fair fares is our motto. We haven't raised prices above 4 pence for years! 4 pence! 4 people. That doesn't make sense.
Objection!
Those 2 statements are clearly contradict each other. They do? Explain yourself, Consul.
Me? Oh dear, what have I said?
I swear on civil places, main and name, I have the first idea what you're talking about.
According to the group testimony we've heard so far, there were 4 passengers on the omnibus on the night in question. And according to the coachman, Mr. Bebo, we took 20 pence in fares. Quite right. I have those precise details typed neatly here in front of me. And juror number 5 also told us the following. The fare for the omnibus is always 4 pence.
That it is. A fair and convenient single price. Just the way London's carriages should be operated.
That doesn't add up to at all. In fact, it leaves a glaring discrepancy in the facts.
Why, man, why?
4 passengers paying 4 pence each. You do the multiplication. It would have been 16 pence. Exactly. As I said, it doesn't add up. The figures are different. By 4 pence, in fact. Or precisely, 1 person's fare.
1 person's fare?
Yes. In other words, on the omnibus that night, it's distinctly possible there was another passenger we've never heard about.
This can't be right. The coachmen of the guild are good, honest men, one and all, trustworthy as our watchword. The figures your coach Ben claims most certainly do not add up. Your watchword, good sir, is a fallacy. I beg your pardon? Mr. Guildmaster, I think you ought to consider that this trial were to end now. The news would surely spread all over London. The news that one of your coachmen tried to hide the fact that he lets nefarious characters ride his omnibuses. Alright then, how do I make it so this miserable trial doesn't end, Kim? Oh, she's so cute. Well, according to the book here, you simply launch a ball of fire onto the innocent side of the set of scales. Now hold your horses there, coachman. We were all in agreement. Why do you... Wait till I get my hands on you, Bebo. This is all very irritating. Begging your pardon, sir. I'm going to do the same. We did it! We got it proper. For the love of Mike, not you as well! A penny can be a difference between a smile and a tear, after all. I certainly can't put my trust in someone who doesn't follow my exacting standards in financial matters. He's literally wiping his sweat all over his face. Yeah, he is. But look at her face. I don't know why I love that face so much, why I like stoic faces that much, but they get me going. I love their faces. They're so good. Oh, really? I, for one, think it's only proper that we hear from the witness again. Oh, well done, Mr. Naruto. We did it. That give no fucks face. Yeah, exactly. Because, like, I always imagine them having a bit more emotion and imagination as possible, and just, like, seeing them just do a little smile and everything is just, like, really cutesy to me, and just, like, ooh, it gets me. It gets me going. We can manage to change 2 more jurors' minds. We could force the trial to continue. 2 more, actually. There is something else that's bothering me about a couple of their assertions. Then that's where you must strike next. So I need to pit 2 more jurors against each other and show there's another contradiction in their assertions. Exactly, you could do it. Yeah, like breaking the hard exterior? Exactly, yes. Good stuff. Well, the scales of justice have shifted, but they still weigh heavy on the side of guilt. Counsel, you're at the floor again. Continue with your summation examination. I should like to hear what the shot bookkeeper has to say for himself. So you style the chap, draw into logical conclusions. I mean, I feel like the old lady and her would fight each other. So it has to be him. Changing my leading. Okay. I think we're gonna have to press. Okay, so we're gonna press on this. What have you been doing all this time? What have you been doing all this time? There. I should have thought it was obvious. I am recording everything that takes place as part of these proceedings. And what have you learned from that? For example, at this moment in time, the judge has used his gavel 11 times in total. The prosecution has noted derivativously in your remarks 7 times in total. And I might add, each time you had a god pen like a simpleton. Thank you? What's the point exactly? So anyway, madam, are you able to explain why you think the defendant is guilty? That is a conclusion I have drawn as a result of the copious notes I have typed.
clearly, but I'm asking you to explain why you've drawn that conclusion. Please don't distract me. It makes it extremely hard to concentrate on my note-keeping. It's going nowhere. So maybe it wasn't him. Okay, so let's just press on this one. Right? She is a bitch! I'm glad we see eye to eye on this bio. I really think you should stop waving that needle around. You heard what the good coachman said before, didn't you? That hideous man stabbed the poor fool, just like this! Yes, that is what he said, you're right. McGlind Park is such a lovely little place, too. I've always enjoyed resting my legs there while I get on with my knitting. And I had thought that anyone who had donated such a delightful place must be a fine fellow indeed. I suppose I was wrong. Whoever would have thought he was so miserable, money lending, with not a scrape of remorse. Oh, help. She's as sure can be that he's guilty now. Old lady certainly seems to know her mind, doesn't she? So we just need to find 2 more jurors with contradictory statements. Pit them against each other. Which is so much easier said than done. Is that perhaps what you were just thinking? What do you know? Well, I took the liberty of doing some research in case you happen to find yourself in such a situation. Shall I read you what I found? It is a little long, I'm afraid. Not right now. I had to rely on advice right from the start. How will I get on later? No, I need to work this out for myself now. Is that perhaps what you were thinking just now? How do you know? Well, that sort of attitude is most admirable, Mr. Naruto. You know what I have to do. Gotta stop all the ghosts from coming through. What? What was that? Something. There's no one else inside at the time, so let's press that. Certainly the testimony we've heard suggests the victim and Mr. McGlind were alone inside the carriage. Precisely my point. But could there be some other explanation, something we haven't considered yet? Such as? Well, perhaps there's something we could, all work out together now. Now listen here. Maybe you don't know how things work around here because you're from foreign climes. But we're here to form our opinion as individuals, and I have. Oh dear, he doesn't appear to be in the mood to consider an alternative point of view, does he? No, I'm going to have to pit the jurors against one another. Like Susato-san said. Finding the contradictions in these 6 people's assertions is the only way I'm going to succeed. Okay. Stuff the chap next to him just like this. Stabbing that poor man on the floor. On the floor? Hold up. Next to him just like this. So what is it? Is it on the floor? Or is it right next to him? Yeah, on the floor. And he stabbed him next to him, just like this.
Objection!
Those 2 statements are completely contradictory. What? Explain, counsel. Post haste. Oh, dearie me. I was only knitting a jumper for my other half. What is all this, claptrap? Well, what does contradictory even mean, I ask you? We heard, from more than one witness. What is she? I think that grandma is married to another grandma, you know what I'm saying? That they allegedly saw the actual moment when the defendant stabbed the victim. Now, out of curiosity, juror number 3. What? Can't you see that I'm busy here? My other half is a horse. how would you say the defendant stabbed the victim? What sort of motion was it? Ah, want to test me, do you? It was like this. Stuck the fellow next to him without even getting up, just like the prim baker said. Yes, that was Mr. Fairplay's testimony, quite true. Now then, juror number 6. Oh, is that me, is it? What can I do for you, young man? How would you say the defendant stabbed the victim, madam? Oh, well, dear, as far as I understand it, it was like this! He stabbed the poor man after he collapsed on the floor. The coachman said so. Now, don't move! Take a look at these 2 jurors. He stuck the fellow next to him without even getting up? And he stabbed the poor man after he collapsed on the floor. I never. They're stabbing in totally different directions. What? Bless my stitches. What a muddle. What this tells us is that there's a strong possibility of one of the witnesses isn't telling the truth. Oh. But why? Why the dickens would they lie? I don't know that yet. What I do know is that the trial ends at this point. We may never find out. We may never know the real truth. Ladies and gentlemen, the jury? Can you really let that happen? In all good consciousness? Lies, you say? Oh, dearie me. I can't abide people telling lies. Yay, we did it. It is now even. The scales. I don't believe it. They've been tipped. But we do have to hold it. Wait! Now hear this, my fellow jurors. I warn you, you cannot listen to this man. Look at him. In his black suit, he's clearly, some devious Eastern sorcerer using magic on us all. Use magic? Do you really think I'd be putting myself through all this? Answer me this, Doc Jakes. Huh? Me? What exactly is the problem? What is it? 2 witnesses have slightly different recollections of the events. What of it? Let's say, the Shylock did stab the victim as he was sat next to him on the omnibus, and this young dandy saw him do it. And now let's say the victim collapsed on the floor, and then the Shylock stabbed him again, and this old lady saw him do it. Well, what's to say it didn't happen like that, huh? Who are you calling a dandy, sir? Why, I should take this knife to you! Who are you calling old, you I should take this needle to you! They're ready to kill each other now. Your work here is done. Could the foreman and the jury be right? Did the 2 witnesses see 2 different moments of the same crime? Out of the question. No, it's possible. It's possible. It's true. There's an outside chance of almost anything you care to mention. Exactly the point I've been trying to make. Before you go any further, Mr. Nara, though. Oh, what is it, Mrs. Otto? I think you should have a look through the court record. Ah. You see, this evidence makes it quite clear. There isn't even an outside chance of what the juror is saying. How did I miss that? Unfortunately, Mr. Foreman. What is it, you dark jinx? Come on, out with it. What you're suggesting is impossible. It's out of the question. What are you talking about, man? How could you possibly say that? You do realize I'm not only doing my job. As foreman of the jury, I have a responsibility to steer everyone in the right direction. So where's your evidence, man? That's what we want to see. I said the 2 witnesses saw 2 different moments of the same crime. You say that's out of the question? Show me my some proof. Okay, so this is probably here. This is the driver's seat, no? And this right here is this. Phoenix Wright Omnibus. Oh my god. They seriously did it. Can't find anything out of place. You can certainly see inside the carriage through this opening, that's for sure. Yes, and there's a lamp in the enclosed cabin. So I'm sure the witness would have been able to see quite clearly. It's not good for us. Oh, this is the driver's seat. Okay, that's for that. What else does this little thing say? John Masters, London head office? This is a pretty neat little thing. Honestly, I'm impressed with the model. Okay. Let's examine this. Can we open it? This portfolio must contain all sorts of secrets in London's, gentry. Oh dear. Do you really think we ought to look inside? Well, it's not as though we know any of London's, gentry personally, is it? Apart from our great detective friend, perhaps. Actually, I wonder. I assure you, we, will not find Mr. Shlom's name inside. Well, let's see what we find. Oh god, it's all scribbles. Gosh, it's crammed full of gentlemen's names, isn't it? Well, I suppose they're probably not all, gentlemen at all, are they? After all, not everyone in this country is well off. Oh, goodness. What is it? Look at this. Do you see the name here? Bruce Fairplay. Should that mean something to me? It does sound strangely familiar, actually. You have a book like this? Do you people owe you things, Bio? And you're like, gotta like do things? Men's names. Oh, freaking like a little black book or some such. Mr. Fairplay is the witness testifying at the very moment. Yes, of course, the banker. Why is his name in here? Oh my god! Merit System, how you doing? Look at this collection of nerds. Oh, why you gotta call me a nerd? Jeez. Borrow 20 guineas, did he? Look, the repayment date is fast approaching. It's possible that this is just a coincidence, of course, but this could be very useful information. Just jamming arena dailies before bed? Okay, that's fair. I need to be doing more arena for sure. Magic Gathering arena? Because I wanna play you, Merit System. That would be fun. Okay. So fair play is a thing. Let's look here. It's always good to look on extra stuff like this. This is definitely blood, isn't it? Not the most pleasant sight to be confronted with on our first day in London. Well, nothing will come of crumbling now. No. By the way, is Mr. McGlind right-handed? Yes, I believe so. He was toying with a coin in his right hand a little earlier. Ah, pity. If only it had been left-handed. I think blood on either glove would be fairly incriminating, really. Oh, sorry to hear about brain issues, Bio. The important thing is to always try. That's the way I feel it, like really. I think that's the most important thing out of anything. I'm on it. Well, I also like saying Marin System because it's fun. So, like, honestly, if you just give me something fun to say, I'll likely say it. It's why I say the Facebook. Or the Twitter. Okay, let's see here. Top 3 reports. Stout wants the adamant. I think it's the fair play thing that we're just gonna be looking at. But I want to look at this. Oh, this is his thing? The lawyer's name is embroidered on the inside here. Look. Kazuma Osaki. That was his bandit, of course. His heart set on the study tour in Great Britain. I'm sure he would have found the truth he longed for here. He lost his life before he even had a chance to see the place. There's such a strong sense of his hopes and dreams when I look at his armband, though. Oh, that's sweet. That's real sweet. These are the scales of justice. They're a symbol of defense, aren't they? I'm glad to hear chat is full of love. Yes, that's right. The scales are a symbol of fairness, to show that all are treated equally in the eyes of the law. And they're a warning to those who enter the courtroom without an impartial mind. And if they're the mark of the defense, it would be more suspicious if they're weighing more heavily on the not guilty side, I think. Very impartial, I'm sure. Okay. So, the thing's gonna come up soon. Yeah. I've heard about your brain surgeries and such. I'm genuinely surprised that's actual thing that happened to you. I mean, kudos for you, like, still being around and everything. That's great. Yeah, the brains and zombie thing do fit you well. It's a good motif for sure. For sure. I hope you don't have to, like, you have to get brain surgery. I hope everything just works out in the end. But, you know, I just want you safe, honestly. Want all the people that I know and love safe, you know? All the friendly people that are just like, I'm rooting for you and things like that. I feel like that's how it should generally go. It's the only way I'm going to convince him is to present him with something he can't dismiss. Some irrefutable hard evidence. As you wish. Hope I don't get more brain pokes. Want this back pain to fuck right off. Oh, that's fair. Back pain sucks. My father dealt with it quite a lot, and he was not able to walk normally because of that. But he also had a bunch of other issues on top of that. He did have back surgery, but like back surgery is like such a hard thing to recover from, and also like to go through. It's a lot. What? I'll give you the proof. It's out of the question that the two witnesses saw two different moments of the same crime, as proven by that the two witnesses saw two different moments of the same crime. Crap, it could be either one. I want to say Bruce Fairplay, because Bruce Fairplay could in fact be like, oh yeah, I totally saw the thing, you know? But I think it's this. Fair play, you say? Alright, it's fair play. Nope, that wasn't it. Yeah, that wasn't it. Okay. So let's look at the court record. Let's see here. Well, let's open the door and go inside, shall we? Scene of the murder. It's horrible. Oh. Well then. That's a poster of the Great Exposition that's due to start 6 months from now. There's a lot of focus being drawn to the Crystal Tower, centerpiece of the whole exposition. The Crystal Tower is under construction already, I believe. People all over London must be fizzing with excitement at the prospect of such a grand event. Yeah, I'm thinking, but I'm not good at this kind of game. That's fair. I mean, like, honestly, I took the chance because you said so, you know? That's on me. I understand. The seat has a handle, it seems. Well, this looks like all sorts of equipment that might be needed to keep the omnibus running. Fitting tubes, tools to repair wheels, blankets, horseshoeing tools. It's a storage compartment for the coachman to keep his things, it seems. There doesn't seem to be any space for passengers to stow their luggage, that's for sure. Oh, I don't imagine it would be very convenient for the purpose anyway. Okay, so that should be fine. But what? Why did you bury me out all the way? Oh, we're gonna have to keep doing this again and again, huh? Look there. It's quite a large skylight, isn't it? Yes, quite large enough to afford a good view into the cabin from the roof deck. But there doesn't appear to be a handle or catch of any description. So I suppose it can't be opened from inside the cabin at least. Is there a hidden opening? We're actually trying to look to see if they could see certain things. That's what we're trying to do, and that's what I got to do. There's only one right there. Ah, that's a poster from the Great Exposition oh, it's another one? It's just another one, okay. Maybe it's a false poster. Nah. Poster? I play Post, so is it me? Oh my god. That's blood that's soaked into the seat. The victims, obviously. Yes, and the seat would be clearly visible from the rift deck. Would you really stab someone in full view of the other passengers like that? I wonder. Well, it was after dark, and there was a lamp on in here, so perhaps the culprit couldn't see anything outside from the skylight. Whatever way you look at it, it doesn't seem like it was a planned attack. Okay. There's lamps right there. There's this right here. I'm not seeing a particular way we could do things. Like, there's nothing in here that does something. Like, we know a little bit more about it, but it's, like, not really there, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, that. Nothing there. Nothing here. And we just have the skylight. Oh, we have a bench here? So this is the roof deck of the omnibus. Oh, you must have a wonderful view of London Street from up here. You're imagining yourself as a magical girl? Transform from a tampon and saves the day for someone. Why are you imagining that? Oh, someone had a oh my god. Savis K Bio, that would make a really good tampon commercial. Just a magical girl that uses a tampon to give other girls tampons? Like, not gonna lie, I would watch that shit. I'd be like, whoa, this is a series of commercials by that. $1 million idea. So people sit all the way up here on bitter winter nights with cold air rushing past them? They have to pay money to do so? I can't imagine how cold it must feel. That just made me think of something horrible. Can you imagine being dragged around the city in this freezing cold as a punishment? Perhaps that is a real price you pay to stay out late. I guess we'll just get the other bench here. Maybe there'll be something here. So this is the roof of the deck of the omnibus. Oh, you must have... Oh, same thing. Same little thing. Same thing. Same thing. Same. I don't know what else they want me to look for because there isn't anything else here. Let's make TownCom commercial together? That'd be interesting. That would be an interesting afternoon type of situation. I mean, like, I'm more than willing to pitch the idea to somebody. Okay, I think that's all we really got. So let's look a bit more over here. Can't find anything out of place. Oh, this could be a W. Orange letter, M. Undeniably Mr. Magnus McGlild's initial. It's a beautiful gilded too. It must be very valuable, I should think. Ah, what is it? Look at the this M. If you turn it upside down, it becomes a W. This could change anything. A W? Yes, this is one of those, you know, turnabout cases. I'm sure of it. I'm afraid I don't know it all. But what I am sure of is that this is an M. Oh, well, the idea was quickly squashed. I mean, come on. It could be a W. It looks like a W. I'm trying to get it to be W again. I don't think we can really look at anything else. Like the tip here? That part is the sheath, isn't it? Are you alright, Mr. Naruto? Oh, sorry, yes. I just don't, really like blades. Oh. Those don't seem like the words of a man with a large katana, slung from his waist. It's not a blade, that's Kazuma's soul. Anyway, there's no, sense in delaying it. Let's see what the, blade looks like. Looks like a lot of blood. Surely is blood. Victims. Englishman's blood looks a lot like a Japanese man's blood. Did you think it wouldn't? Sorry, it's just that we've only just arrived here in Great Britain. I'm finding it a little hard to adjust. Yes, I do understand. So this is how it looks like, eh? I think that's it. I think that's the whole shebang. Okay. Its quality and fancy order suggests it must be quite valuable. He was stabbed in the front thing. I think it's the crime scene photo, actually. Oh, you're even worse than me. Oh, jeez. Two different moments. In other words, the victim was stabbed 2 times. But we have evidence that clearly contradicts. It's the picture. It's the picture. It's picture. It's clearly visible, yeah.
Take that!
Oh no, it wasn't! It wasn't that! What do you mean it wasn't that? He's clearly stabbed 1 time, game! What do you want me to do? Ugh. Okay, we're gonna save here because we're dying. We're dying. And that's not good that we're dying. Ugh. It cost... Stabbed once and then... I had to have the stupid autopsy report. This is the victim's autopsy report. According to what's written here, Mr. Mason was stabbed in the abdomen. Only once. Only once? It's quite simple. The victim was stabbed precisely 1 time. Which means these witnesses can't possibly have seen it happen 2 different times. Yeah! Alright, I concede defeat. Wait, that means 4 jurors are now leaning to not guilty. We've done it, Mr. Naruto. We've won. We did it. We survived. Woo! Barely, barely, barely. 3,000. What are you playing at, you dandy fool? Stick your trap, sir. No one deceives me. But we had a consensus. I said shut your trap. I know a liar when I see one. And if the chap never dares to cross the threshold of my shop, I'll take this razor-sharp blade and shave every last hair off his head. Please tell me he's a barber. Well, in a quite remarkable turn of events, the defense's summation examination has flipped the balance of the scales of justice. The jurors now stand at 2 for guilty and 4 for not guilty. Accordingly, there is no longer a large enough majority among the jury for me to adjudicate. And the trial must continue. God damn, this is a lot. Hereby ask the defense, prosecution, and witness to return to their places. And I call upon all of you to continue to pursue the truth.
So, Lord Van Zix, continue to substantiate the case for the prosecution, if you please.
Alright, he looks like Santa!
This bitch.
This dude is just like the one for drama. He's just the one for drama.
Having savored the rich aroma of the common contents of this hollow chalice, it may seem crushed to crush into the dust. Pray forgive the discourtesy. I don't know why I can't say words. Lord Van Zix? Is it cool in here, or is it just me? As your antique at home no doubt says, the prosecution may not speak during the summation examination. So I honor the deathless silence. Listen to the charade. Seems I overestimated the intelligence of the jury. Well, no matter. There's nothing so hard to prove as a self-evident truth. It would seem. No, and why else would we grace the courtroom with our presence after all? So, let us proceed to the next round of battle. Took it off. Bring forth the witness once more.
Dracula took it off, he got cereal!
Witnesses, I trust you heard the summation examination we have had to endure. Yes, sir. That I did, sir. Of course I heard it. Yes, sir. I heard it. You, sir, on the end, the coachman. I believe it's Beppo. Yes, sir. My lord, sir. If it transpires that in your previous testimony, you were attempting to veil the presence of a fifth passenger on your omnibus, you will be found guilty of perjury. You are advised to bear that in mind, sir. Oh, mio Dio. Now then, witness, I hereby call on you to testify before the court again. You'll examine the various misgivings brought to your attention by the defense's summation examination.
Various misgivings.
I only carried 4 passengers that night. I swear, well, I for one was told I had to pay 5 pence for the bus. Even was on the ferry did, and then I saw that blood girl inside as well. It's all too much. I tell you, Saul McGlynn stabbing that man. Everything I said before stands. Oh, yes. Yes, he stabbed him. Yes, he did. I think so, yes. Oh my god, it's a raid! Thank you! Mustang Renegade! Oh my god! This is my friend that does a lot of thumbnails for me and used to be my editor. I'm very glad to say that you rated. Much obliged. They are a great artist and I love them. Ma'am, it's a gay-ass raid. No! Not the gay! What will my girlfriend think? Counsel, make sense of this for me, please. So, in case y'all are wondering, we're part of the going on with the Ace Attorney thing, and we're cross-examining people because they're lying. Their gay ass is lying. I do know the gay. Yep. Good gay. The phantom 5th passenger conjured into existence by my learned Eastern friend never existed. Oh, like the way? The confusion has arisen from the coachman's sly lie. Kozinich. Well, Bio's a good streamer too, Raiders. I was definitely just checking her out. She's great. She has fun energy. Plays a lot of horror games and a lot of nonsense games, I would say. A lot of weird ass, like, we're gonna be a homeless man and try to help summon demons. Yeah, fun energy. Can't stay long, that's fine. Wanted to pop in Bebo. Yeah, Bebo's funny looking. I love him. He's great. He's like, oh dear. You're free this Thursday night. Thursday is the night that I am free. For once in your life, yes? Oh my god, freaking Queer Boy Gaming. Already simping for Mr. Van Zeeks? Valid. Hug the Bebo. Bebo hug. Bebo, explain yourself. I'm terribly sorry, Guildmaster. The guild's fare is 4 pence across the board. You know that. Am I to understand that you've been overcharging our passengers by a penny a fare? It's so cold. The last run of the day is always half empty. You have been dishonest, coachman. Bebo, I thought you said bimbo, and I was like, damn, you get those bimbos. I do like me a bimbo. Honestly. And not just like a bimbo, but to become a bimbo. You know? It's a state of love. Fucking Queer Boy Gaming, seriously. Just being gay all over the place, I see. Can't contain it, not just a gaming. I'm sorry. You're a disgrace, Bebo! A disgrace. And your self-actions have brought dishonor to the entire guild. If I may, sir, I had to pay 10 pence on the bus just last week. What? 4 passengers at 5 pence each is, yes, 20 pence. I've done the arithmetic 10 times already. I just can't make the result come out differently. No, that figures. Well, it would appear that one of the 4 aforementioned misgivings has already been explained. So, counsel for the defense, your cross-examination, if you please. You already had the pleasure of the protract summonation examination today. I see you intend to continue the prolonged parlor games. Absolutely. Why did you say it like that? Here we go. Okay. Only carry 4 passengers that night, I swear. But what do you say about the hold up, you said a Bebo? No. Boy, you have to answer to your crimes. So there are only 4 passengers on your carriage? But you didn't charge them the standard 4 pence fare? Is that right? Yeah, they're not making anything. It's impossible to make the last run of the day pay. I was so cold. It was all I could do to stop myself passing out. I'm getting chills planes just listening to you. Yeah, it was terrible. So I wanted to give myself a pat on the back for even keeping the buses running. Doesn't a dedicated coachman deserve an extra penny per passenger? You're digging a deeper hole for yourself there. There was a 5th passenger on the omnibus that night. Then we would have had another suspect. Well, I, for one, had to pay 5 pence. Okay. But on the ferry you did, and then I saw the blood curdling side as well. It's all too much. Let's press him on that. This blood curdling sight. You mean the murder, I presume? Yes, sir! Loathsome sight. No one should have witnessed the horror in the eyes of the man the moment his life is taken.
Oh, well, not exactly, sir. I mean, I didn't actually see the exact moment the gent was stabbed. Good gracious, really? We have another witness who did, however. The big guy has already testified to it. Mr. First didn't actually see the point at which the victim was killed. It may turn out to be very significant. Heard the banker next to me take a sharp intake of the breath. See? That's when I looked through the glass. That's when I saw the horrible blade poking out from his belly, all covered in blood. Every time I see a knife now, I can't help screaming, even when I'm eating. I tell you, I saw McGlynn stabbing the man. Everything I said before stands.
Hold it!
Does it, though? So you saw the defendant, Mr. McGlynn, stabbing the victim, Mr. Manson, who was sitting next to him? That's what I said, isn't it? It's bothering me before, this was. For just a brief moment, he hesitated before answering the question. Anyway, there are only two of the men. Two of them inside the carriages, wasn't there? There's been much talk of a fifth passenger, but as yet, zero evidence. Then what are we wasting all this time for, eh? It's black and white. The man's guilty. Something about Mr. Flaypear's testimony just jars with me. I wish I could work out what it was. Stabbed him, yes he did. I think so, yes. Said before stands.
Hold it!
Earlier you testified that you saw the moment when the defendant allegedly stabbed the victim, didn't you? Yes, yes, that's right. You said that the victim was on the floor and described the assailant holding the knife in an ice-pick grip. I suppose I might have, you know, yes, put the cart before the horse, maybe. What's this? Well, I'm quite sure about most of it. I was just driving the horse when I heard a scream from the seats of the roof deck. Oh, I expected that was me, sir. And then when I had to turn around, yes, I saw it from through the skylight. The gentleman was on the floor, and the knife was sticking up out of his midriff. That's right, yes. And the fellow holding the handle was the famous man, yes. In short, you didn't see the moment when the victim was actually stabbed at all. I really thought I did, but when I go over it again in my head, oh, I suppose I didn't actually see the precise moment of the stabbing, did I? Oh? Bro?
Excuse me.
Why are you? Do you have something to say about that, Mr. Fairplay? Now you listen to me. I know what you're thinking. You didn't really see the exact moment the fellow was stabbed. What are the chances of that? Huh? Are you asking me or telling me? He's getting flustered. I might be able to extract some new information from him if I answer him cleverly. Could he have just happened to see the exact moment the crime was committed? No chance. Sundays are like that. No. Well, it is a little hard to believe, certainly. Unless you spend your time peeping through a skylight on top of the Unibus, that is. Peeping? I'm a respectable baker, I'll have you know. And I know what I saw. I remember it as clear as the ball rat's day. It was a grim scene, I don't mind telling you. Thank you, Mr. Fairplay. Oh, excuse me, if I was getting a little hot under the collar, my lord. I would ask you to supplement your testimony with a clear statement about exactly what you saw. No, I could do that, alright. I'll tell you just how grim it was. Do you think I've forgotten the sight of those blood-soaked hands After that butcher stabbed the man? Blood-soaked hands?
Hold it!
Gotcha, bitch. Blood-soaked? Ahem. Well, perhaps soaked is laying on a little thick. But anyway, there was definitely blood all over, and both of them were covered in it. And you saw that from the roof? Through the skylight? Well, the skylight's reasonably large, so I had a pretty good view. And there was a lamp on inside the carriage as well, so I'm quite sure what I saw. This banker's latest statement. I feel sure there's something not quite right about it. When you feel something doesn't add up, Mr. Naruto, that's when you have a good look through the court record. Not long ago, this trial very nearly came to an end. Somehow we managed to keep our chances alive here. Can't waste this cross-examination. I have to use it to bring some new facts alive. If you're not careful when you press these witnesses, the danger is that the jury will end up believing something unhelpful as they did before. Maybe, but we can't let the fear of that happening stop us from uncovering important new information. Yes, you're so right. You need to pay careful attention here. Don't want to miss even a flicker of reaction among these witnesses. Remember, if you happen to spot one of the witnesses reacting to us in a strange way, don't hesitate to pursue them as the reason. Okay, so it should be at the end right here. Everything I said before stands, Side of the blood-soaked hands. Leather gloves the defendant was wearing at the time. Blood-soaked hands.
Objection!
It's gotta be. Blood-soaked hands? Well, I admit that soaked might be laying on a little thick, but... But anyway, there was definitely blood on all over them. Both of them were covered in it. Well, I'm very sorry to disagree, Mr. Fairplay, but that's more than a little particular. What? Here are the gloves worn by the defendant, Mr. McLind, on the 9 question. Oh, yes. Right. And there certainly does appear to be a sizable dark color stain there. But, as I'm sure you can clearly see... God dang it. It's only on the right hand of the glove. Ah! In short, Mr. Fairplay, your testimony is inconsistent. Ah! But no, that can't be right. So you're a liar here, then? Ah! That's right. We were quite clear about it. You said it was both hands. Ah! Mr. Fairplay, your last statement was a lie. It calls your entire testimony into question. You say you saw the moment the victim was stabbed, but is that really the truth? Ah, well,
Objection!
It was a simple mistake. You can't justify accusing this man of lying. Yes, it wasn't both hands, it was only one. The fact remains. The victim's blood was on the accused.
Objection!
No, Mr. Fairplay categorically stated that he saw blood all over both hands. Which means there's a strong possibility that this witness was deliberately trying to mislead the court. Ah! Why? I'm a city banker, for pity's sake. My word should be the gold standard. I'm a gentleman, not some gutter snip. Standing members of society don't preficate. It's plain that I have no reason to lie. Is that really the case? Mr. Naruto, we had some evidence to explain why Mr. Fairplay might be lying. It could turn the tide in this trial completely. Something to show this man has a compelling reason to lie in his testimony. Yep. My lord. Yes, Consul. The defense is ready to present evidence. By Jove, are you sure? Yes, evidence that will clearly demonstrate why Mr. Fairplay had reason to lie in his testimony. Ah. Very well. I hereby call on the defense to present its evidence. Okay. For the motivation of... Yep. Mm-hmm. Boop.
Take that!
He owed money. This is a list of the debtors who owe money to Mr. McLean. Yes, a list of innocent victims put by the accused extortion. The point is, among the names of these debtors is yours, Mr. Bruce Fairplay. What? Mr. Fairplay, are you currently indebted financially to the accused? No, well, it's barely worth being called a debt. According to this register, you owe 20 guineas. Not an inconsiderable sum of money, wouldn't you say? Well, what of it? Let's suppose Mr. McLean were to be found guilty of murder. What would become of your debt in that case? These documents state that the loan agreement is forged between two individual parties. Therefore, were the creditor, the defendant here, to be sentenced to a capital punishment, all outstanding debts which were owed to him would be annulled. They would cease to exist. Cease to exist? Mr. Fairplay? Is it not the case that you claimed to your testimony that to have seen something you never in fact saw? In a devious attempt to annul your debt of 20 guineas to the defendant. Order. My, Bruce Fairplay. Yes, my lord. Let me ask you again. And be aware that your answer may be the most serious implications upon your future, sir. Did you or did you not see the precise moment in time in which the defendant is alleged to have thrusted a knife into the victim? Your silence speaks volumes. You did not tell the truth in your testimony. Alright, now let's not make a melodrama out of it. Perhaps I did overstate the truth a pinch. A pinch? But it makes no difference. I definitely remember seeing blood on McGillen's hands, both.
Objection!
And yet only one of the defendant's gloves, which we have here as evidence, is stained. So you keep saying. I wonder if I might be allowed to speak, sir. Go ahead, Mr. Frost. Well, the thing is, I think I remember seeing it myself, as it happens. Seeing what? The blood, sir, on the assailant's hands. I think, yes. I'm almost sure that it was both his hands, not just one. What? What? It would appear that we're going to need further testimony from all you witnesses. This time I would like to know precisely what you did and what you did not see. Do I make myself perfectly clear? Yes. Mr. Naruto, though, this is good news. The course of the trial seems to have shifted slightly at last. Yes. I finally have a chance to turn things around here. Okay. What they really saw. There was blood on both hands of the assailant. I certainly and distinctly remember that. However, I suppose I might say that I didn't see the exact moment the stabbing transpire, if that matters. I remember seeing the knife, and I remember seeing both the attacker's hands with blood on them. I didn't actually see anything myself. No, not until I heard that scream.
Anyway, the fact remains. There can't have been anyone else inside the carriage, or we would have, seen. Well, lo and behold. In truth of fact, not one of the witnesses has the crucial moment a crime was perpetrated. I apologize, my lord, but honestly, there was no one else inside the carriage, and the man's hands were covered in blood. That much incriminating evidence is tantamount to say we saw the man do it. That's really not what testimony is about. Let us examine the interior of the omnibus once more. The victim's fresh blood is clearly visible on the seat, corroborating the witnesses' accounts. In other words, there is no significant change in the facts of the case. Very well. Cross-examination, please, Consul. Yes, my lord. Alright, it's going to be the last cross-examination of the day, effectively, because we're approaching time to end, so, yeah. There was blood on both hands of the assailant. I sincerely and distinctly remember that. I suppose you might say that I didn't see the exact moment the stabbing transpired. Okay, and then the knife. I think this is the one we want to press. Didn't actually see something by itself. No. Hold it! The screen. You didn't see anything? Yes, sir. That is to say, no, sir. I didn't. Very sorry about what I said before, sir. Very sorry, yes. It was wrong of me to make up stories and say I saw him stab the man. Wouldn't you agree, sir?
Excuse me.
Oh, I didn't want to actually. Oh, how can I help you, sir? That last statement, did it trouble you in some way? Oh, not particularly, sir, no. He's troubling me with the hat of his. Okay. Still does repent as you see. Okay. Mr. Naruto, even the witness can see what's going on through your mind. You really must be careful. I wish it were that simple. Okay, come on, come on. You know what? Can we go to options and change some things? Wait time. Yeah, I'm gonna have it as that because it takes forever. I'll just save here for save. Oh, we're at part 2 already? We're at trial part 2 apparently. I had no idea. See anything myself? Hold it! Okay. Yep. When you agree, sir? I know what you're insinuating, but I certainly wouldn't make up stories. So to say you saw nothing isn't right either, is it? No, sir. I saw nothing at all. Mr. Bevel, you were driving your horses. At the very least, you must have enjoyed a good view of London streets, no? Oh, please, you didn't even see that? It was so cold that night, sir. You see, it was all I could do to keep going from passing out, sir. Yes, my head was fairly frozen solid. Sorry to say, sir. It seemed pertinent to avoid travel on the last omnibus service of London's cold winter nights. Bebo! Ah! Okay, the fact remains there can't have been anyone else in the cart. Okay, let's press. And everything you saw in the incident was through the skylight on the roof of the omnibus. That's right. It was fairly cold that night, but the glass wasn't frosted over. Oh yes, I remember I was shivering, it was so bitter. Rather begs the question on why the pair of you was sitting in the roof deck on the first place. Well, I don't know about this young fellow, but I couldn't enter the cabin. Oh? Why not? It was locked from the inside. I tried knocking, but no one opened the door. It was locked? That's right. It's a public bus service, for pity's sake. That's not what I call fair play. Yes, I had exactly the same experience. I tried knocking, but the gent inside just gestured at me to clear off. So I had no choice but to climb up to the roof deck and look down longingly into the warm cabin below. Well, I assure you, I wasn't just looking down. I was glaring, long and hard. And that's precisely why I could tell you with absolute confidence that if there was anyone else at all in that cabin, I would have noticed. Unequivocal, I would say. Not sure about these two witnesses. Would they really have seen everything inside the cabin through the skylight? Yeah, they might not have been able to see everything. I'm going to confirm one thing, Mr. Fairplay. You were riding this omnibus. You witnessed the events in the cabin through the skylight in the floor on the upper deck, is that right? That's right, yes. In that case, there's a portion of the cabin interior that would have been out of sight from you. What? My golly, really? Obviously at the stage, we can't say for sure. But the possibility cannot be denied. And at the time of the incident, there could have been another passenger in the enclosed cabin of the omnibus.
Objection!
Enough hypothetical meandering, my Nipponese friend. The prosecution demands that you substantiate your claims. After all, see, the crime is here, in the flesh. Very well. I will uphold the prosecution's demand. You'll identify the area of this cross-sectionary plan in the omnibus. Where exactly in the omnibus are you suggesting that this potential extra passenger could have been situated? It'd be right around here. Or also right here, too. It could have been on the ladder. But I'm pretty sure it's in here.
Take that!
Both rows of seats on the roof face the direction of the traveler. Whereas the seat in the enclosed cabin face each other. Which means the visible part of the cabin, which passengers on the roof deck can see through the skylight, is as if I've drawn here. Oh. That's right, my lord. As you can see, the seat opposite, this one of which the victim is, and his attacker were sitting in as obscured from view. In other words, if someone had been sitting on that seat, it's quite possible that these witnesses would have been completely unaware of it. Finally got to that the fifth person. It's quite possible some phantom was sitting there. You Nipponese have a forbidding habit of obscuring the truth with ambiguity. I concur with the prosecution's indulgence. In the British court of law, evidence is paramount. Cannot entertain this conjurer, consul. That is, unless you're able to put a name to this mysterious passenger to whom you allude. Can you, Mr. Naruto? Naruto? Honestly, don't know. Who could have been? Who could have been in the other seat, which was out of sight for the witness of the roof deck? Do I? Do I have an inkling? You know what? It could be him. It could be him. Dang it. Where is our... It could be him. I think that's who it is. I think he was the dude over there, and that way he wasn't being stabbed.
understand, my lord. The defense would like to put forward a name. You are a fool. The response was a desperate attempt by a man who has no notion of his own limits. A toast to hard lessons not yet learned. Let's not delay, Council. The defense is still to name the passenger in the other seat. This could be it. This could be the chance I've been waiting for to turn the trial in my favor. On that night, on the night of the murder, the person occupying the seat in the ominous cabin that was scared from the view was...
Take that!
Yes! 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 I got it! The passenger in the enclosed cabin and that the witness on the roof deck failed to see has to have been Mr. Magus McGlynn. Mr. McGlynn? What are you talking about, Consul? That's the name of the defendant. Exactly.
Objection!
Just threw it. Just fucking threw that. Just yeeted that shit. If I desecrate this chamber by smashing my hollow chalice, do forgive the discourtesy. Lord Van Zeeks? People talk of those tiny island nations in the Far East as having a learning and culture of their own. But I see they use the terms ill-advisedly. What are you trying to say? Let me explain in terms that even a student of artless backwaters such as yourself might understand. When the bloody scene unfolded, the victim and his assailant were sitting side by side. Multiple witnesses have attested to the fact. It is the very premise of which this case is built.
Objection!
But that premise may be wrong. What? If the victim really was sitting beside Mr. McGlynn, it creates an inconsistency that can't be reconciled in any way. One inconsistency, Counsel. The defendant's gloves, my lord. Both witnesses made the same testimony. They claim that there was blood on both hands of the person sitting next to the victim.
Objection!
Yet we know the truth to be otherwise. Only one glove bears the gory remains.
Objection!
The point is, even in the face of this irrefutable evidence, both witnesses have maintained their stance. Yes, their testimony remains unchanged. Exactly. They both adamantly swear that they clearly remember seeing a blood on both hands of the assailant. In short, their memory of events is correct, and their testimony reveals the truth. There was somebody else sitting beside the victim that night. A third party we have yet to identify. And the victim's blood was on the passenger's hands. Both of them.
Objection!
And who was this third party? Obviously, the true culprit. Extraordinary. Order, order, order. Exactly, are you, facilitating?
Objection!
The defense's, pulsation is just that. Nothing more than conjecture. The witness had clearly stated that they saw the accused.
Objection!
But when elaborated on this testimony, Mr. Fairplay said the two of them were wearing hats. I couldn't exactly make out their faces. Yes. The tops of their heads were obscured by the roof. You can see the rest of them, though. Yes, that's right. Both gents were most certainly hatted. Hatters, I do tend to notice such things, sir. Can I be hatted? Hats don't fit me, and I'm very sad about that, the hats don't fit me. It makes me sad. I wish I could be good with that. And what particular styles of hats do the two gentlemen sport, Mr. First? I'm afraid I
don't remember. You call yourself a hatter? The style of hat makes no difference. There was no third passenger in that cabin. How can you be sure? Because if there had been, the accused Mr. McLean would undoubtedly have offered to dispose the fact. Unless, that is, you are proposing that even more preposterous explanation. That the accused failed even to notice the presence of the true culprit in the very cabin in which he traveled. Ah! He's right. There's another person traveling in the enclosed cabin element of this. It's inconceivable that Mr. McGlynn would have been unaware of it. Is it, though? Order! There is clearly a simple solution to this problem. Bring the accused Mr. McGlynn to the stand. Well, what you say, counsel? Prosecution objects, my lord. On what grounds? As a suspect, he would already have made a full statement to the police. But what if there's some reason why he is unable to speak freely? Manus McLean is no uneducated ruffian. If indeed it turns that the man has been withholding information, you could be sure it will be a deliberate act. Counsel for the defense, what is your opinion? My lord! Should we ask Mr. McGlynn to testify or not? Oh, frack. Ooh, I don't know. I think we should. But we'll figure that out next time, everybody. We'll figure that out next time. Because we already are past time and a half. You know what I'm saying? Let's not have an execution of what happened yesterday. I don't want that. I don't want that. Jeez Louise. But this has been fun on a bun for sure. So, I'm trying to see who there is that we could go join. Well, if y'all are a fan of D&D, I do have a friend that's doing D&D right now, so I'm gonna send you off over there. Okay? Thank you so much, Bio, for showing up and being here for the time that you were. Thank you, Plus9 Renegade and Queer Boy Gaming for the raid. I much appreciate that so very much. Marin System, thank you for showing up. I'm not sure if this is the first time you've been here, but it's a pleasure to have you for sure. It definitely is. And yeah, everybody else, thank you so much. But it's time to end the stream and me to get food. Because them's the rule. Ah, jeez Louise. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. Sayonara. Bye-bye.